Hey Kin, it is your feedback video. Video number 17 belongs to you. I have found a way to do these in a way that's easier for myself, doing them on live, and then using the download app and then transferring them to my YouTube page. So if you you have access to it as an IGTV, but then you also have it on the YouTube as well, for whatever that's worth. I'm observing a huge dynamic shift in the way that I'm doing this work, and I realized that you have the video and you have the notes, so I had to go deeper into myself and figure out, well, what am I doing then when I do these videos? So I've sat for about 3 hours this morning trying to figure out what am I doing when I do these videos, and so I'm just gonna flow with it. So anyone else who is tuning in, I am doing a specific feedback video for a client, but I'm doing it as a live, just in case there's anything that you happen to take from it, and because honestly it's easier for me to record that way and upload to my YouTube channel based on how my devices are working. So you're sort of just watching me in the middle of my work and processing. Here I'm kind of allowing people to see a certain side of me in that way, if you are here. So I will not be engaging the chat at all. You can listen if it resonates, and I thank you for being here if it does. And of course, if it resonates and you want to comment, I will read it after. I will save it, and of course you can engage each other about it, okay, and engage me after. But pretty much I would be reading notes and processing how I feel about something. So I sent a request. Okay, well, I can't accept your request now, Sawyer, because I need to finish this part, and then I'll check you back in a sec if you are truthfully trying to do that, if that's not a mistake. So just confirm for me whether or not that's a mistake, and I will check you for sure as soon as I get through this bit. Okay. Okay, so Kin, this is your feedback video, and so from our session, the notes that I have worked through my being with our greed, grief, guilt, gang, guru, and gentleness. And I want to break down all of those words based on your intention upon entering the session, where you stated that you wanted to get to the root of why a certain person and entity was always like sort of intercepting your energetic space every time we had a session, or frequently, that enough for you to note. And we spoke about choices that we make, and whether choices are empowering or disarming and hurtful. Sometimes we get trapped in being so protective and overprotective of those choices. Instead of learning the lesson, we protect the right to choose because someone else in our life, some other entity in our life, is making us feel stupid for having made that choice. So instead of learning the lesson from the choice, we get trapped in protecting, well, it was my choice and I had that choice to make, and so I made it. So we wanted to be mindful of that. I've lost my notes page. Give me a second. So the first one I think is greed, and it's in the space of identifying where you're being accused of being greedy when you realize the inspiration in you to find love, lead your life. Whenever you have that burst of inspiration, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this, and then you're being treated with this, how do you have the audacity to do that? That's a very internal and external, contentious, unspoken war with friends, family, intimate partner, colleagues, etc. When you're facing feeling disheartened when that is happening to you. You're facing feeling attacked, but you can't articulate it. Okay, so it's a matter of admitting that you are being considered greedy in a space where all you're doing is trying to open your mind to your greatness, to who you really are, to whatever that means, your authenticity, your audacity to be yourself, self to self, and someone is trying to intercept that space. And it hurts, of course, when it's someone that you care about tremendously, and someone puts you in that position, or an entity puts you in that position of choose us over yourself, or choose us over this opportunity. So facing the fact and calling a thing, self to self, with your compassion hand, as we speak about, breathing into it, breathing life into that choice, and knowing that you are not greedy for wanting to be you, to be authentically you. Okay, and that you're not greedy for wanting to tap into your greatness and to explore it, and to live through your inspiration and your inclination, how you are inclined to respond. And if you notice, I don't know how this is coming up, but I was intuitively guided to put the camera on the side and have the plants out the window for you, because of what plants means to us specifically. So all of these little details, I'm curating this little like tight corner for myself here, just in honor of flowing with the inclination that I'm having for where we're really coming from inside ourselves when we get that when we get that inspiration, and when we realize, oh boy, I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna jump in, I'm going to allow myself this opportunity, I'm going to allow myself to be loved, I'm going to take this job, I'm going to make that move. Take your time, breathing life into it. Yeah. Then I had and then the guilt. So there's guilt being the basis of guilt really being responsibility, misplaced guilt, misplaced responsibility, some all involved having to take responsibility for their emotions, their actions, the energy that they bring into a space. For example, I usually try to get this video out like as soon as possible, and today is as soon as possible for me, so many days later, because I was attacked in one way and protected so effectively at the same time that it was happening, that I was sort of just there. But what was so heartbreaking for me in what had happened to me since our last call that stopped me from being able to do this video when I wanted to, was I needed to process how loved I am and the effects of that, and how unloving that space was who's doing the attacking, and how much gang I had. And I was not physically affected, but psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, it had an effect on me just watching this contention happen and dissolve right in front of me. And I'm just sitting there like, Sekmek gang, like, oh, okay, like, you tried it, and you really just hurting yourself, because I am not angry at this person who is coming at me. I realize that they are terrified by my raw, radical, vagabond nature and love, like the fact that I am free in my expression, and that I want that for them, but they have decided that there are levels that they're not going to face their own freedom. So I trigger that in them. And when I speak I speak kin. It's all of us, right? We have these effects on each other, and instead of acting out of admiration and inspiration, a lot of people's default is jealousy and to attack. So allowing yourself to not be guilty or take responsibility for someone else's response to the space. That person, that entity didn't have to come at me that way, and they were shut down by Sekmet gang. They were just like, no, you don't come for her. Like, she's here for all of us and our protection. She's here for your protection, so you don't get to come for her. And it was a very beautiful thing to observe, but I had to reflect on times when I didn't have that protection, and all the work that it has taken me to get to a place where that is my natural response now, where I don't even have to call anybody for help. It's all of the energies sort of just kind of happening. And you have that. When I say I equals we. It's all of us. And when you realize that you are raising in that love, it's not a matter of oh, you're not alone. Yeah, okay, you're not alone, but your heart still breaks for family and intimate partner that isn't there. That justice and injustice has to be comfortably wanted, and comfortably declared, to call a thing and say, yes, I may have gang around me, but I did see what you did there. I do see what you continue to do. And while I'm here for us, I'm here for us from this vantage point, and I am cultivating the strength for all the things that make me feel wonderful, and tapping into my greatness and my gentleness, and really owning the guru that you are in a contextual space. Like, if it wasn't for you right now, my plants wouldn't be being taken care of, and you may not see yourself as a guru in that way of the plants, but what you are a guru of in my heart and mind is an authentic nurturer. Like, you will to do that for me, and it honestly doesn't matter to me what happens to the plants at the end of the time that I am, on this journey that I am on. It matters to me that you take it so seriously. It matters to me that you send me pictures of my plants every day. It matters to me that and matter as in it, I feel good about it, but matters as in it does something, it manifests something comes into form. Our love, our connection, our bond comes into form and expands. The more you allow yourself to explore the power of the nurturer that you are, and all that comes with it. So when it comes back to this person at the beginning of the session, and what that person represents, what that person seemingly is offering, it's a sense of freedom, a sense of love, a sense of expansion. And it's not the case that we have to choose one environment of love over another. We are expansive, infinite beings, and we have so much vastness, so much access, and we create so much access for ourselves and each other, that the heartache must be admitted. The heartache that it triggers when love knocks or opportunity knocks. It hurts us when opportunity knocks so loud and is so, giving of everything. Like, here's my cup, drink from it, it's overflowing. It hurts us because we have not yet fully held to justice, held accountable those who clearly took it away from us and have not admitted it, because they had others who take it away from them and it was not admitted. And each of us have to do our work. You need the courage. We develop in the courage to have the comfort to say, this hurts me. More than this hurts me. I'm loved, I'm supported, I am loving. The way I love is powerful and beautiful and vital and necessary. It is an essential essence. There is a potent dosage attached, and I'm here for it. So that's really all I was coming on to say as far as your feedback video, because I think we processed so much, and I know you have all of my notes, and I know you have the full video. There was one more thing that I wanted to speak to specifically within our notes, which was asking the sacred dialogue wheel, where the first cut happened. And so, when did the first cut happen? Where did the first cut happen? Not just where on the body physiologically, but where were you? What stage in your life were you when the first cut happened? Physiologically, not physiologically, I already addressed that. Geographically, where were you? And not just at home in St. Lucia, but you may have been by a favorite aunt, on a playground. Well, we don't have playgrounds like that, but you know what I mean. Like you may have been climbing a tree in the bush. Like, you may have been in a significant nature zone. So where were you in your nature space? when the first cut happened. These are the different ways to change the question and to transform the question in the way you ask the SD wheel, but also in the voices and in the tone you ask the SD wheel, and like literally change the voices to how you would talk to each member if they were personified. So if there was an actual child, if there was an actual best friend kind of human student person that you were engaging about a life experience, if you were expressing it to your friend that was like, yo, who hurt you, tell me, let me act them, like if it was that voice, ask it in those tones as well. It's a suggestion, and the point I'm making is play with it, like we speak about in session. Always play with the way you come at the wheel, come at yourself. Yeah. Okay, so I wasn't going to touch it, but it came up. It came up in my eyeballing my notes. So the reconciliation of sex being alchemical and not dirty. So we touched on it a little bit towards the end, and it's a matter of beyond allowing the love. So it's getting a call there. Beyond allowing the love in, is realizing the alchemical power of union, sensuality, sexuality, just as simple as the attraction, the fantasy, the feeling and the thoughts, the way the mind can roam, and the power of the mind and the power of imagination and the power of that emission, that sensual emission, that spine erect, sitting on your center, your creative center, whether male or female, remembering your Kegels in that space, pulsating that orgasmic creative life force energy, and fantasizing and knowing that feeling of, ooh, this is attractive to me, I'm turned on by this, I'm inspired by this, I'm inclined to do this, I'm inclined to make love to this and get into this and delve into this and get hot and wet and dark and light and just all this. Get into it, sinking your whole self into it, and just, of course, raw explicit sex is a powerful alchemical thing. So however it is you're feeling about the sex and about the union and about the exchange and about the connection and the root of the connection is what will amplify when you have sex. So again, in the calling a thing sort of way, it's realizing that this person is someone that your physiological being may be comfortable going there with, because it needs the massage of physiological activity in that way. Something as simple as that, but not oversimplified and not minimized. So yeah, I think that is all I am comfortable to give right now, because honestly I know you have the notes and I know you have the video, and everything else I feel is more in session stuff. So what I want for you in bringing it back to where we started today is dissolving any guilt, giving responsibility where it's due, taking your responsibility for leading your life in that way, in the way of exploring everything, in the way of, when you said at the end of the session, you said that you were taking from today that you don't owe anyone any you don't owe anyone any explanation for how you're feeling. You feel what you feel, and that is just. Let me see if I can find it really quick what you actually said, if I could quote you. Yeah, taking from today, I don't need to explain how I feel to anyone. These are my feelings and I am just in them. And that was such a powerful thing. These are my feelings and I am just in them. So it is the highest level of justice to trust your VAP, to trust your gut, to not need to explain yourself to anyone. Not even to yourself. Like, if that's how you're feeling, that's how you're feeling. When it's time for you to do it, that's what you're jumping in now. It's happening now. You love yourself enough to ride that current and ride that wave. So declaring the space where you are the guru, where you are the go-to person for things and people always know how to come to you and you always allow. So being gentle with yourself for that, feeding yourself for that without acting or appeasing or taking on the accusation and ingesting the accusation of being greedy for wanting to explore your greatness. And knowing, yes, you always have gang, but even still, we have to call a thing and declare the injustice and declare the heartache, and that is how we will dissolve and resolve the connections in that way. Did I touch everything? I can't stress enough the grieving process. You know, as much as I say this also eloquently, it breaks your heart to know that a loved one, someone you invested in, someone you'll always continue to invest in, is not going that way with you. And this morning, for me, with what I was facing, we're gonna give the example. For me, I had to just get up and cry and write and, you know, mourn the connection as it was, mourn the appointment as the way I had appointed this person in my life. I had to realize, okay, that's not where you are. This person has made that clear in this moment. Even if you had gang to fight for you, that's not the point. The point is still seeing this is where we are in relation to our peace and our resolve and our love. This is where we are along the journey. This is the relationship's inventory. And if you had a momentum, you know, you're driving in fifth gear in a certain direction in a relationship and you think that it's going this way and it's not going that way, you can't half-ass any step. We have to be thorough. It's what we do here. So allow yourself the grieving process. Fully allow yourself the grieving process. Lick those wounds, hold yourself, dance, drink water, eat wonderful food. Even that I was processing this morning before I came on, and then I got called to run outside and get some delicious snack that somebody dropped off for me. So yes, I have tremendous love, tremendous support, because I'm tremendously loving and supportive of my gang, of my people, of my kin, of myself. And still, just because I have that doesn't mean I don't feel, and doesn't mean I don't need, require, desire, and deserve replenishment. It's an overflowing process. It's an ecosystem, right? So we ingest and we rest and we digest and we utilize the love and the power that we allow ourselves to cultivate. And just because I want more for myself, and when I say I, remember it's always kin. When we want more for ourselves, all of us, when we want more for ourselves, it doesn't mean that we are ungrateful for something else. And at the same time, when it is contextually abusive, well, yes, we are ungrateful for your abuse. Calling a thing. No, I'm not grateful for your abuse. No. So if you want to be like, oh, you're ungrateful, well, yeah, actually, let's go with that. Yeah, I am ungrateful for your abuse. You know, whatever it is, you know all the answers inside of you. I'm just a facilitator, and I am the just facilitator. I take my role very seriously, very joyfully, and I appreciate being put in that position in the last few days so that I could really feel the weight of the pressure that my unit is under, but at the same time, hashtag for Sacred Dialogue, we cure like diamonds, right? So we're under pressure. Freddie Mercury, we're under pressure. This is ourselves under pressure. Do you see me? Do you see me under pressure? This is me heartbroken, healing, grieving, receiving so much love. This is all of the dynamics. This is the full spectrum of learning to be yourself and being human. And it is a beautiful, powerful, empowering, inspiring, iron sharpen iron thing. Okay, I finish. So Sawyer, if you are still there and you did want to really come on, you can request to come on now if you are still there. If anybody would like to engage me in what I was saying and want to come on, you're welcome to request right now. And if no one requests in the next 10 seconds, I am ending the live. And I thank you all for being here. Let me see who came through. Siren. Oh, hey. Hey, my love. All right, so well, whoever came through is not necessarily still here because I'm only seeing that 2 people are here still. So I'm supposing it is Siren and one other. So yeah, all right. I love you a lot. I love you with all our power and our being. And I'm with you in the wind. I know you know that. I think and feel for you and with you. And we allow ourselves to come to this earth and let this earth come to us, through us, with us. Like it's we are the flow that life goes with. We know that. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. That's all I've got for now. Oh, hey, Thea. Yeah.